Well, good morning, everyone. It is early in the morning on March 10th, Saturday, March 10th. I'm on my way to work. Typically, I don't have to work on a Saturday, but there's some extra training that needed to get done, and they scheduled it on a Saturday, which I'm all right with. Which kind of brings me to something I want to talk about today is work. First of all, I really enjoy my job. I work for a company that deals with dental software products, all sorts of things like that, and I deal in the software part of things. We develop our own practice management software for dental offices, and our center does tech support for that, and I work in that department. For the first time in my life, I have a job that I enjoy coming to work for. I enjoy it as much today, if not more, than the first day I started. Most jobs, by the time I get to this point, I have been burnt out, looking for something new, no longer challenging, get complacent, get bored. And once you get to that point, you don't always do the best job that you could or should, and that's not how I like to do things. But I've always had a job that worked with people, some sort of customer service type thing. And this is no different. I mean, I've worked in hotel management, restaurant management, retail management, and now I get to continue working with people in customer service aspect. And in addition to that, I get to mess around with technology, which is something I've always enjoyed ever since high school. And so I get to do both. And the role I'm in currently is even better because while I enjoy working with people, any customer, any people, in our case, customers that I obviously never imagined anything like that. But in my current role, I get to help my fellow coworkers. So I always get more enjoyment when I can help people I know, and see the impact that I get to make on people's lives, and I enjoy that. And then on top of that, I get to work with technology, so I get both the best worlds here. But anyway, that's where I'm going today, and I find it interesting. At work right now, they sent out something this last week saying they were incentivizing people to come to work. And I don't know, I guess I'm cut from a different cloth. My parents must have raised me differently, but it just baffled me that we have to bribe people to come to work, that the money they make isn't enough. the paycheck that we come to work for isn't enough. And I realize that there may be people that, just like me in the past, that didn't like their job, but even when I didn't like my job, I was always there. I was always there on time and did my job. And I was talking to somebody the other day about it, and they said, well, it's a different generation. And I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe it is. I thought, well, a lot of those people that don't seem to be able to make it to work or make it to work on time are younger, and maybe they just haven't matured enough. But I think back to whenever I was a teenager in high school, had my first job, or young adult, I was always to work, always work on time. I think it helped that my dad, and we still joke about it a little bit now, and honestly I do a lot of the same thing, but he had a half-hour drive to work, and around here, unless you live in the nearby town where I'm driving to, unless you live in that town, if you live in any of the rural areas, unless again you are a farmer that works in the rural areas, you have to drive a half hour to work. Anyway, he had about a 20-minute to 30-minute drive to work, and he'd always leave over an hour before his shift had to start. And he'd always make some jokes like, well, you gotta go get your cup of coffee, you gotta chit chat with your buddies, and all that stuff. But I think part of that, my father had such a determination to be at work on time, to be at work early, to not only be to work at the time your shift is supposed to start, but be ready to work by that time. That example definitely played into that. I'm sure, and I do a lot of the same stuff now, but whenever I was young, I always made sure I was work early and ready to go whenever my time was supposed to start. And I admit, whenever I was in management, I had trouble with, even if I had employees that would be there and clock in on time, they were never ready to work as soon as they clocked in, and that was always a constant battle. But I don't know. I find it hard to swallow that people just can't get to work on time, and it would be different, I guess. I don't know. I understand, I guess, if you're a parent and you had to drop your kid off of school or get your kid ready and then but some of these, like, they don't have kids, they don't have responsibility, they don't have anything, and yet they either walk in at the last minute or walk in late. Or I heard somebody say the other day, we have some people just they have a hard time working a 5-day week, and anyway, I don't get it. And then, this training we have today that, I typically have Saturdays and Sundays off, and I love that. I get to spend with my family. I can always plan around that. But, I'm getting paid overtime for today. If I really had said, hey, I have this training on Saturday, could I have a shorter day some other day in the week? I'm sure they would have complied and would have definitely done it, but I don't know. People just seem to always have something to complain about. But I find it interesting that that work is such a hard thing for people to do and get to. So anyway, that's my rant for today. I don't know. I'll probably just wrap it up here. I just wanted to get that off and get that out there. But this series, whatever you want to call it, I don't know if they'll all be this or if there'll be a lot more rambling or what, but I just wanted to get that out there. And hey, and today on my way home from work, it'll still be light. I don't know, I tried yesterday testing a little bit, testing to see how it would be in the dark, and obviously without any light on in the car, it just looked like you're looking at a black screen with somebody talking, which I'm sure most of you that are listening to this is not listening to it for the video aspect, because again, all you're looking at is me through the back of my steering wheel. But either way, it's always better to have a little bit something than just darkness. But I did turn on one of our small dome lights, and it gave enough light to make it so you can see me. I don't know if I'll do that. Most of my drive, it wouldn't matter with a light on in here because of it's just all rural roads. But obviously I don't want to put myself or others in danger by doing that. But today on my way home from work, it'll still be light out. So who knows, maybe you'll get a second one today. My wife made a joke yesterday, because I'm not a real talkative person anyway, but she made a joke that, the only way she's going to hear what's going on in my life is to watch this video series. Especially once my shift changes, because currently she works from 7 in the morning to 3:30, and then once my shift changes, I'm going to be 12:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. and she'll be in bed by the time I get home, and she'll be gone by the time I get up in the morning, and so we don't get to see each other very often except for on the weekends. So she's like, this is going to have to be the only way she gets to hear me. But it just means that on those weekends, it's going to be all that much more important that we spend time together and do things together as a family. So that is our plan. I remember for years my parents worked opposite shifts just because, we never growing up, we never went to a babysitter. I know when I was real little, my mom didn't work. But as we got older, when they were both working, one of them would work a day shift and the other would work a night shift, and they made it work. So you do what you got to do for your kids, and that's kind of what we're doing. So, but anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. And like I said, if you like what you're seeing, throw me a like, subscribe, hit the little notification button to know when there's a new one that goes up. And I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.